Let's start with some rotation. Just loosen the body up. Go with the elbow. Roll through. And rolling through the hand. Good. Stretching up. Oh, sorry. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay, stretch right up. Nice deep breath in. Stretching back a little bit. Bending the knees, keeping the upper body long. And into the ground. Turn back up. Nice deep breath in. In. One more time. Good. Up over to the side. Hit the side. Then. That's good. And just circle the hips. And the other way. This person just sinking down and just pressing with the forearm. Stretch the legs out. And reach all the way into the ground. A little bit deeper. And then from this position, just let one hand raise up. Stretch right up. Down. And again. Squat the legs back. Stretch up through the shoulders. Just nice and slowly bring your knees up towards the elbow. And legs down. Nice and slow. Knee right up to the elbow. Stretch back a little bit more. Start to widen the legs. Stretch back, pull the hips right back. Walk the hands back towards the feet. And then elbows into the ground. Nice and slowly. Bring your feet a little bit closer. You start to rock through the feet, through the legs. Hold in one side. Yep. Bring the heels up. Bring the toes up. Change. Back up. Roll the knees. Roll the ankles. This side. And just at the shoulders. So like circling backwards, forwards. Nice big circle one side. And the other. Rolling them out, forwards and backwards. And then the forearms and the wrists. Okay, let's go to the wrists. The Nikyo. And then the other side. Kotegaeshi. The other side. And another Nikyo. Thumb over the top. The other side. Onto the fingers. Change. To a fist. Roll through it. Change. Pointing the fingers. And into fist. Shake them out. Roll them. The legs. The body. take a Bokken. Straight into first Suburi and just play with these 3 levels. You're looking at them a little bit in the workshop. Just slicing through, just placing, and then just focusing. And just really play within the levels. And just look for a really clear arc through the sword and a nice stable base. So really stable in the hip. Nice and relaxed in the upper body. And a nice clear cut. Just really play within these levels. And then says Zengokini. And also you can play in these same levels here. Just swinging through. Just placing. Really finishing with a sense of focus. Just really explore. All the time the body's doing the same thing, just looking to ground and the hips be smooth. Clear extension through. Good, answer number 2. right up and come forward. Really look for the ground. And just in this case, just pay attention to the hips. So in this case, this is quite easy to do this. If the hips kind of a bit rigid, will happen like this. They kind of come up through the movement and then down. So during this step forward, what can happen is like this, into this position. But allow the front hip to be really flexible. So this position, allow it to just coil in this way. And then I don't get this kind of up and down movement. I just get from this kind of high position, I just want the feeling of coming into the ground this way, straight down into the ground. But I don't have the sense of kind of raising up and then dropping down. So just have the sense that you're going to roll through the hip here. And then this front hip's nice and soft, just travel through it this way. Just get the sensation you're working from a high position and then you're sinking down into the ground. Again, just play with these kind of levels, work with the hip, but just get the sensation that just cuts straight into the ground from this high position down to the ground. So this is about kind of transferring weight forward. So just give it a try, especially this front hip as you go back, the left hip. Let it kind of soften as you go forward. Yeah, that's yeah. Good. Number 3. Nice and easy. Take your time. Stretch right out. You really allow the hips to sink down. Find the back. Nice and stable here. And then spring out. Sword above the head. And then get nice and solid with the cuff. Open, stretch. Lower the body. Sink, 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 sink. That's on forward. Oh. Okay, good. And just watch the coordination on this second movement. So it's really easy to kind of do like this, drop the hips, and then the arms kind of sink in this way. So that the arms are not really following the hips, they're just following after the hips. But really try and tie them together. So it's really a sense of the hips pull the sword down, the hips move, 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 move. Everything's kind of slotting together. So really try and kind of tie the hands into the hip work. So try and just do this basic idea. It's like the hands don't move unless the hips are sinking. The hips, but it's not that I sink the hips and then the hands just drop into the hips. But it's really that the hips are pulling the hand. Pulling the hand. Stop. Stop here. Do this together and then you spring out of it. So just try and really tie the handwork into the hip work. So just nice and slow, but don't allow the hands to move unless the hips are kind of very simple. The hips moving. Yeah. That's it. Nice. Very nice. Okay, good. Number 4. Nice and easy. Cutting for a shoulder. Round the cuts. Finding the back each time. Just watch it. This is really kind of small movement. It's kind of hard to feel it, but just watch the neck as you go. When you find this movement, try not to crunch the neck down. So when you come forward, try not to crunch the neck, and then come forward this way. So keep it. This is basically in the shoulders and the top of the top of the neck here. So try and keep this whole area free. So as you go back, this is nice and free, but there's a sense of length through the spine here. But what I don't want to do is this. and then come forward. So you'll feel a kind of tension in the front of the neck if you do this kind of bobs forward. So allow the back, the shoulder, this whole area to really release with this movement. Sometimes it's just because the grip's too tight. So if the grip's really tight and I get this kind of movement, it'll kind of transfer into this. So keep the grip nice and loose as you come to this position. And then only really find the grip in the cutting motion. But keep this front, the back of the neck nice and free. And just keep this kind of long all the way through the movement. Give it a try. Trying to crunch it down. Think length through the top of the head. Number 5, free documents. Just holding the line up, flexible. Okay, and this is a kind of similar point to number 2. So because the sword's kind of coming up and around, there's a tendency for this to happen, for this to happen. The body gets kind of pulled up and then presses in down. In this case, again, just have this feeling you're moving forward and pressing in down. So get the feeling that the front hip's flexible. Just press into the ground this way. So have the sense all the time you're pressing down with the hips. What I don't do is this. Dun, 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 dun. But just get the sense you're pressing forward and down. Forward and down. Allow the sword to just travel up. So again, it's about the grip in the upper body. It needs to be relaxed to sink down. Relax, sink down. But just get this feeling you're just doing this and not doing this kind of feeling. Yeah? Okay, give it a try. So just try and release the hip and keep the shoulders nice and free. And the grip nice and light during the move. Really down. number 6. So targeting Joran Kamai, coming through with the ka and thrust on the same side. Left side ski. Oh.
Michael?
Yeah.
On that side, also on the number 6, I always wonder how to, I mean, the transmission of energy from the hips is only by making a step here because there is no rotation, right?
Yeah, with the hip.
So like, because I move my back leg, then because that's why the can moves forward.
In the transition into the ski, this way. From this into this position.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the also.
Yeah.
You're cutting in this position, and think you're going from this kind of yokomen position with the hips, and you're gonna really open the hips out this way. You've also got this kind of movement happening with the body. So you've got this, pressing down, but also allowing this to happen. So you've got it's like a really kind of spiral. You see this kind of spiral work, so it's like this, and then this. So it's really kind of tight, but it's allowing the hips to open out this way. You see that? So you've got this, and then this. The lines kind of open out. It's like doing this kind of motion. So yeah.
Okay. I see.
Back foot, and then also that. You've got a kind of very small spiral.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah, that's it. Good. Yeah, okay, good. So. Oh. Very good. Okay, good. We'll go to number 7. So now the spiral's really clear. You're changing feet, cut down, and really allow yourself to find this spiral this way. So cutting down and spiraling through this way. So number 7, yokomen. Yokomen. Wow. That's nice. Okay, good. So with this play, we're going this into motion, into a flowing motion. in this case, really, really have no power in the arms. So in this case, just work from a kind of yokumen this way, and then a ski this way, and just try and bring them together, but try and keep the focus out of the arms. So you can really just go to the feet and the hip work. So roll through this way, and just really put all the focus into the feet and the hips. So allow the foot to really ground for the cut here. Press into the foot and then release through the hip this way. And just let the sword follow. Just this. Just really no power. This. Just allow the sword to follow the hip work. This. Okay, and we'll build the focus in one at a time. So now keep the focus in the cut, and just nice and light through the ski. So now focus through, and then just release through this way. So just focusing on the connection now. The focus into the next movement. Just keep the second move nice and light. Again, just allow the hips to roll through. So you focus in, focus flow through for that one. Nice and light. Again, just focusing on the compression in the feet. Roll through the hip. But now just really trying to keep a focus with the cut as well. Okay, and in this case, try and feel this is less like a forward motion, like a forward step, and more that it's a kind of coiling underneath something. So you're actually, in this case, where it's used is rolling underneath something and rolling underneath the sword and coming in for the second strike. So it's less about actually coming forward. So in this way, it's not a kind of movement kind of forward and then a press. It's actually a movement like a coiling underneath the roll through. So you're moving forward, but it's not about kind of not about moving forward. It's about kind of coiling the hip underneath it this way. But just allow the hips to kind of coil. So focus much more on the spiraling element of it than on the kind of forward.
You are freezing up.
Oh yeah? Okay. So just allow this.
So it's gone back.
Okay, good. And then just coil underneath it. So try and kind of compact the spiral in the second movement. Really make it clear. The kind of forward motion can kind of take away from the spiral. So imagine this and just coiling underneath this way. Okay, give it a try. Just kind of compact it a little bit more. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Good. 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 And then see if you can introduce the focus into the ski now. So you really got a sense now of striking through. Good. Yes. Nice and clear, nice clear focus with it. So this focus, this roll through, and then with the focus here also. Give it a try. So focusing through both moves.
So, see you later.
See ya. Take care.
See you.
Very nice, very nice. Good. In this case, just do 3 moves. So you're just going to add another yokomen onto the end. So just 3 moves, flow them together. You've got 1, 2, 3. With another yokomen. And just try and make them fluid. So roll through, and strike. Just 3 moves. Again, keep it nice and compact. Don't think so much about the forward motion as the hip work coiling through. Just try this 3 cuts, 3 movements. 1, 2. Try and maintain a sense of focus through all of them. And use the focus to carry through into the next movement. Stop. Oh. Oh. Nice. Okay, good. Just put the Bokkens to the side with a little bit of koku work. Taisabaki. Okay, good. So we're just going to start with forward step. So from this position, just roll in with the hip forward this way. Roll in with the hip this way. So just basic, nice, clear, stepping through, coiling through this way. And again, just allow the hips to soften and really do it with a sense of rolling into the ground this way. So really roll through the ground. So if you kind of roll in through like a tire, roll underneath it this way. And just find the koku hand away this way. This way. So. Good try. Okay. Good. And then just try rolling backwards. So take a step back and roll through. Yeah. Roll through this way. Really, again, keep a sense of holding the ground this way. Back. Roll. Really allowing the hips to work through the hands. Okay, good. And now work with a tenkan. So roll to the back, and then you've got a choice. You can either roll forward with a step, forward, or you can roll back with it. So roll into a tenkan, and then find another movement, either forwards or backwards. Roll back, press forward, roll back, press backwards. Give it a try.
Michael.
Ah.
One question about the kokyu movements with the hand.
Yeah.
As far as I know, the blades
True.
should be in front.
Yeah.
But in my case, if I have the blades like this,
Yeah.
it is not. It feels not like really organic or normal or. So I have to. I cannot do it like this.
Yeah.
There should be something more.
Thinking this, it's also about the if this is really if this is kind of tight, then if I try and do the blade forward, this kind of goes like this. But what I want to do is kind of also release through the wrist this way. So think about also the wrist being flexible. So it's not just about kind of that coming forward. That will kind of lock the joint, but feel like it's the whole joint is going to kind of coil through. So this is where it kind of comes from the sword, and what we work in the sword, this flexibility in the wrist is from this movement. This. So even with nothing moving here, I've got a lot of motion here in the wrist. So it's just about kind of increasing the flexibility here also. And this becomes the kind of the tip of the wave. The tip. This kind of coils out. So it's just about kind of releasing through the joints a little bit more and just trying to find this kind of position. And the main thing I really want to avoid is that with the elbow kind of coming out. That's the kind of main one I want to avoid. So it's just keeping the sense of the sword work, keeping the wrist mobile, and then pressing it into it. Pressing it into it. Yeah. Yeah. Give it a try.
Great. Thanks.
Good. That's good. And the last thing, just try keeping in motion. So you roll into tenkan, roll back, and then just keep the motion coming. So just either roll into it, roll back, just keep flowing with it. So now the flexibility in the kokyu just flows to the next one. The same way you do the sword work. So there's still a sense of rolling into the kokyu position, but just continue it into something else. Roll through and just stay in motion. The hips, the feet constantly compressing. Just roll through it. Very good. Nice. Nice. Great. Okay, we'll stop there. Very good. Hi. どうもありがとうございました。
Arigato gozaimasu.